Broadcasting from Hollywood, it's the official On Air with Brandon J podcast.
What's up, everybody? I'm Brandon. Welcome to On Air with Brandon J. I'm joined by a guitarist, composer, producer, Mr. Imran Ahmed. Imran, how are you?
Hey Brandon, I'm good. Thank you for having me, man. I'm so honored to be here.
Hey, man, it's great to have you. You got to work on a song that I got to be participate in, and I'm grateful. And it was Strong by
Yeah,
James J. Matthews. So a special shout out to James J. Matthews, his
right.
manager Kimberly. Just great music. I mean, I'm still playing that song on my podcast to date. So Imran,
Yeah.
what is it like being in the United States of America?
Well, I've been to US like a couple of times. It's my like 10th or 11th time I'm visiting here, and
Right.
every time I come to US, I thoroughly enjoy, and I get to meet so many awesome people. And I like visit different states, and I participate in musical events, and then I participate in award shows. Like I have won three independent American music awards.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, thank you. So I hope to participate in the upcoming award shows as well. So it's every time I'm here, I really enjoy my journey. It's really awesome. Is a really awesome place.
That's awesome. And how did you get started in music, right? Because you're someone that's known as a guitarist composer, right? And
Right.
here in the US, it's like, okay, you're either a songwriter, a producer, a recording artist. How did you get the title guitarist composer?
Basically, I started off with the guitars. Like my main forte is to play guitar. I'm a guitar player. I was about 14 or 15 years old when I started playing guitar, and I come from a very different background. I'm 49 right now, so back in the 80s, we had no internet or anything like that. So everything was like I
You
came,
mean to tell me you had no internet in the 80s?
yeah, like
But
when
doesn't
I
it seem
when I
like it's been around forever? But it was like 1995 when the World Wide Web was introduced.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That like when I started off, like we
Yeah,
had nothing back then. Like now, life is so easy. We can communicate with anyone. We can make music, and we can do a lot of things now. But
that's
at that,
awesome. And the thing that I have seen, Imran,
hmm
is I think that the US over the course of time,
hmm
especially now,
yeah,
is more open-minded to artists and influences of music that are not from here, right? I mean, you're seeing K-pop and
right,
you're seeing artists all over the world for that matter really
hmm
make an imprint and a dent here in the USA.
right, exactly. See, as I told you that I have like when I started off,
Yeah.
I was influenced by Western music. I was influenced by American rock music. I was influenced by British music a lot. So in my country, we are not an English speaking country. So
Right.
I had a lot of difficulty doing English music because I always thought of doing English music since English is an international language, and I really wanted to like be introduced in the international market. So this whole journey has been like it's more like a paradox, you can say, a self contradiction. Like I formed a band when I was like 17 or 18 years old, and the guys,
Wow.
yeah, the guys in my band, they were like, they wanted to do the music in our own local language. And I was like trying to oppose them, and I was trying to tell them that no, we have to do something in the English language since it's an international language. And I want my music to reach throughout the world. I just don't want to confine myself to one place or one continent or one country. And
Absolutely. And Imran, who would you say some of your influences are
oh
when
yeah,
it comes to the way that you have learned how to craft and kind of compose and create music?
that's a very good question, Brandon. My main influences, like it ranges from, you can say, 80s pop to rock, and mostly like rock music. Like I'm a huge fan of rock music. I'm fan of 80s rock music. All
Yeah,
you, yeah, like you can say I grew up listening to Iron Maiden. I grew up listening to Motorhead. I grew up listening to Guns N' Roses, Metallica, all these great bands of 80s. And of course, before that, if you go back like early 80s, I was listening to pop music. I was listening to Michael Jackson. I was listening to Bee Gees. I was listening to so many diverse form of music. So that really helped my build my palette, you know. So I have a like variety of music in my library.
that's awesome. I mean, I think that the versatility is everything when it comes to music, right? Because we can all uh, learn how to adapt if you're an artist or to a specific genre. But when you're versatile and you're
Right.
able to play, multiple instruments and things of
Exactly.
that nature, it really changes the paradigm and the paradox per se when it comes to your value.
Very true.
When someone is looking at working with Imran Amid, he's not just a guitarist. Well, he's not just a composer. He's kind of a hybrid. He's kind of a producer. He's a songwriter. What would
Right.
you say out of those specific traits that I just mentioned or categories as I just categorized you in, right? What would
Right.
you say would be the one that you enjoy the most spending time in? Is it songwriting? Is it production? Is it playing instruments? Or is it a mixture of everything combined?
See, my first, like, I would say that my first thing is definitely this guitar. This
Yeah,
is what I want to be known for. And this is like the top of the thing for me. I really do this thing. And definitely being a guitar player, I want to be known as a composer as well. And the
right.
best part is the versatility. You talked about the versatility. So I don't want to be labeled as one particular genre. Like when
Of
people can,
course.
yeah, like when people can listen to my music, they can hear different influences. They can hear
Right.
some Middle Eastern music. They can hear rock. They can hear some British music. So I just don't want to be confined in one genre of music. But definitely rock is my forte.
I mean, you mentioned some great names, right? You mentioned Metallica. You
Yeah.
mentioned Michael Jackson, the king of pop.
Yeah.
And I think that the 80s, I think as time goes on,
Hmm.
Imran, correct me if I'm wrong on this, or if
Yeah.
you agree to this point that I'm about to make.
Right.
Music kind of evolves in circles. It kind of circles back, right? You're hearing a lot of 80s influenced sounds, 90s influenced sounds. So what do you think is next for music? Where are we going? Are we going back to the 60s?
That's a very good question, Brandon. Uh, I believe that it there's a circle, you know, it goes and
Yeah.
it comes back to the same place. So what I feel right now, like in 90s we had grunge, we had bands like Nirvana, we had bands like Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, all these, they were really awesome bands. So
Yeah.
it was like it wasn't cool to play, you know, guitar solos back then in the 90s. Then all of a sudden a new thing came, then there was new metal, and then there were like people doing some rap and metal stuff, like bands like Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine,
Corn, all those guys. Yeah.
Korn. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, the new metal era it came. And I think now the rock, the 80s rock is coming back. If you see like
Yeah.
the new Extreme, I was just the other day I was watching the video of the band Extreme. So
Uh-huh.
they, yeah, Nuno Bettencourt, he was like shredding on the guitar. And then we have Winger from the 80s, the great band Winger. They have come up with their new song. So I guess that the rock and roll is coming back, and it's really exciting.
Absolutely. Imran, what advice do you have for artists out there or producers or just instrumentalists such as guitarists and pianists and things of that nature. What advice do you have for them in 2023?
Yeah, I would say that for any upcoming, either he's a guitar player, a musician, or a singer, or anyone who has to do with music, one has to be true to themselves. Like if you
For
try
sure.
to, yeah, if you try to be something you're not, then you won't go anywhere. And try to find your own identity. That is very, very important. You have to know where you're going and you have to exactly know what you're doing. Like, uh, I have nothing against people who do covers, and I mean, doing covers is really awesome. You learn a lot when you do covers, but you have to be known by your own original music. So whatever you do, even if you like hold one chord or one note, it has
Yeah.
to have your feel and your identity and your characteristic into that. So that is something really, really important for a musician.
Originality is everything. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
it is
originality.
everything.
Exactly. That's
What's next for you, Imran? What can we expect to hear from Imran? You working on any cool projects, any gigs coming up? What you doing, man?
Yeah, my first priority right now is that I have formed a band by the name of Encounter. It's with there's a friend of mine. He's an absolutely amazing singer and a songwriter. His name is David Pollard, and he's from Tennessee. So him and I, we got together and we formed a band by the name of Encounter, and we have completed the album. And I hope it's going to be released by tomorrow because we are like everything is almost done now. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll be releasing the album worldwide on different platforms, and I'm really super excited with the album. And we'll be releasing our single as well with the video worldwide. This is one thing, and
Very cool. Very cool. Imran, where can people at home follow you on social media?
yeah, my I go by the name of Imran Ahmed Project X. Project X is like my collaboration band. I collaborate with different artists all over the world, and I collaborated with James Matthew, as we have mentioned him earlier. And you produced one of our songs, Strong, and I love that song. You are an amazing producer.
I mean, that song when I hear that song play, Imran, I have to say it reminds me of Coldplay. It's got that
Right.
James Blunt. It's got that real European feel, like I'm in London, like I'm in a flat. I want to turn on the radio. It's got that kind of feel to it. So that is a very good song, and that's
Thank you
why I
so much.
continue to play it here on air with Brandon J on the podcast. So
You
Imran Amid, where can we follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Spotify, Imran Ahmed Project X. You can follow me on YouTube, Imran Ahmed Project X, and Apple Music, Amazon, everywhere. You can find me everywhere. All you have to do is Google me, Imran Ahmed Project X, and you'll find me everywhere.
Imran, thank you so much, my friend, for being a special guest today on the podcast. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing your perspective, your advice to those out there that are desiring to pursue this daunting world of music. And I'm wishing you much success here in the new year, my friend.
Thank you so much, Brandon. I'm so honored to be on your show. And like, I always see your podcast, and they are amazing. You are an amazing producer, an amazing host, and an amazing human being. Thank you so much for giving me the honor.
Hey, I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much. All right, Imran Amid, right here on Air with Brandon J. I'm Brandon. We'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.
Bye bye.
Thank you for tuning in to On Air with Brandon J. Follow on Instagram at I am Brandon J.